Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the UGC League. This is going to be our Season 5 Western Invite Grand Finals between TongFu North America and Band of Misfits. And I'll be 100% honest, I didn't even know TongFu had an NA team before today, but apparently they do, and they are bringing it to the UGC League. Band of Misfits, I've played against these guys a handful of times. They are really good, top-tier players. So this is going to be an exciting match. We got a best of 5 coming up, and the winner of this game will take home $500. It's all or nothing. First place wins the prize in the UGC League. So $500 on the line here. That's pretty significant for an amateur league, so really excited to see what happens. Anyways, we're into the draft. I'm going to pop over there, and let's get this started. Bam. So right in here, Band of Misfits V2 versus TongFu North America. TongFu have chosen to take the Radiant side in this matchup, and their opponents, the Band of Misfits, have opted for first pick. So that first band comes out, and the Shadow Fiend will be the selection there. So team's still fearing Shadow Fiend in 686. Now, I gotta warn you, this is probably my first game casting in 686. So there's a lot for me to figure out and learn here. I've played quite a few games, so I'm familiar with the patch, but I'm not 100% certain how teams are going to run it in competitive. The only competitive games I've really been watching were the WCA games the other night, and let me tell you, it was exciting to see Alliance being back in the saddle like they were. I mean, it's really impressive, and with Lone Druid being added to the pool today, I think it's going to be really interesting seeing Alliance in the future. I mean, they were already drawing out a lot of IO and Prophet bans last night. Now with the Druid in the pool, it's going to be scary. It's kind of going to be back to that same predicament in TI3 where teams had to choose to ban either IO, Nature's Prophet, or Druid, and whichever one you didn't ban, Alliance took. So there's lots of There's some interesting counterplay to be made there. But anyways, off of the pro scene, back into this scene, we've got Oracle banned out as he has been added to Captain's Mode as well. Earth Spirit is in Captain's Mode, and I have not seen him played quite yet. But yeah, Slardar and Bane banned out by TongFu North America. I'm not sure about the Slardar ban. I don't know if he's as strong as he was before. I think he really benefited from the meta, not so much from his actual strength as a hero. But he is still doing pretty well. Bane, of course, a very, very strong hero, and even stronger with the addition of the Aether Lens. That item can do a lot of work for him. Now, I hope I'm not annoying anyone with that pronunciation. I've heard a lot of people saying that it's Aether Lens, pronounced like ether, and some people saying Aether, and I'm not sure what the correct pronunciation is, but I'm gonna go with Aether Lens because it just sounds a little bit better to me. Anyways, IO Tiny going to be grabbed right off the bat for TongFu North America, so really wanted to go with that kind of mobile strategy right off the bat. Exciting to see. Now, the Darkseer's been picked up by Band of Misfits, and of course that I think Darkseer fares pretty well against that combo. You can always kind of surge away from it as soon as you see that relocate coming in, and the Wall of Replica does really well against Tiny later on, so we'll see how they combat that, but Gyrocopter going to be their choice as well, so kind of focusing a little bit more on an AoE teamfight type of draft, and definitely going to have a lot of damage going their way. See what they choose to combo that with as the draft continues on. But Queen of Pain banned out here, so another kind of mobile ganker to match up with that IO Tiny. Makes a lot of sense. I'm curious to see if we're going to see a Shadow Shaman popping out on the side of TongFu North America. I haven't done my research on these teams, admittedly, so I'm not 100% sure what their comfort heroes are. But Shadow Shaman's a great hero for pairing with this IO Tiny, especially if you can get him a Blink Dagger or that Aether Lens like I was talking about. He just has the ability to lock someone down so long that IO Tiny can just pull a full relocate. And heroes like Bane are typically the ones that you do that with, you know, or even hell, and Elder Titan is also really good for that same purpose. You know, you can throw the if you get an Echo Stomp down or a Nightmare or even a long Fiend Script channel out on somebody, it gives IO Tiny the opportunity to just do a full relocate channel and pop in and in time to do the follow-up damage on those disables. Bounty Hunter banned out by TongFu, and so getting rid of that little bit of scouting potential that Bounty does pretty well against this combo. If you can keep the vision up on the IO and the Tiny, you're never really going to be caught off guard by whatever they do. Doom banned out by Band of Misfits. He has as well been added to Captain's Mode. I think as of today, we've got Death Prophet, Faceless Void, Lone Druid, and Doom, and I think there's one other back in the pool. So The only hero that's in the game right now that I think is not in Captain's mode is Arc Warden. So, exciting to see what heroes, or what teams do with these extra couple of heroes, but I really want to see an Earth Spirit. I have not casted a single game of Earth Spirit ever, and that would just be a blast. I don't think I saw any games of it last night in WCA. I might be wrong,
remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Alright, so Lena's going to be the last ban out here. Oh, there's no Ricky in C. Okay, so they didn't add Ricky after all the shit. They didn't add Ricky? Really? I thought they did. Alright, well, I'm wrong. My lovely, lovely stats lady Lurkaderp has corrected me. She's giving me some pointers out in Skype here. But as soon as this game gets going here, Lurka will be providing you guys with some awesome stat pop-ups throughout the course of the game to kind of inform you on what's going on. But yeah, oh, Winter Wyvern's the other one I missed. I knew I was missing one. Winter Wyvern is the one that was added to Captain's mode, and yeah, I don't know if that hero's going to show up though. She got the pants nerfed off of her. It's pretty ridiculous. But Clockwork picked up. This hero got a really interesting change in the fact that his cogs are no longer a square; it's now a circle, which is odd, but I think it's a really good change for him. I couldn't count the amount of times where you'd like try to get into the cogs to help out a buddy, and you know, if you were like a bat rider or something, and you were trying to fly over the cogs, you'd get hit by one cog, and then you try to fly over that exact same path, and because they were so tightly packed, the second cog would hit you anyways, and that sort of thing was really annoying. And I think the circle change to the cogs is kind of meant to change that and kind of fix issues in certain little ramps and choke points and whatnot. And I don't know if it's a buff or a nerf, but it's kind of a quality of life change for everybody. It's nice for Clockwork, it's nice for his opponents, it's good for everyone, so interesting there. Undying going to be picked up, and I think that's a really good call. I mean, you got 3 heroes on the other side that all have pretty slow attack speed, and of course 3 strength heroes as well. So Undying is going to be doing a lot of work this game, and that Tombstone, it's going to be really hard to bring down. I mean, until Tiny gets like his first attack speed item, whether that be, you know, a set of drums or even like his the beginnings of his Moon Shard or Assault Cuirass later on with the IO overcharge, it's going to be really hard for TongFu North America to knock down that tomb. They just don't have the attack speed to deal with it.
Templar Assassin.
I believe this is played with the new update, yes. 686 was announced earlier today, and I don't think it was delayed. Like, I don't think they've put it on hold for anything. So, as far as I know, this is being played with 686B. Yeah, there were just a couple small changes to Ricky, Faceless Void, Pudge, OD, and Death Prophet, and then the Arcane Rune was nerfed slightly. But the biggest changes were that Void, Doom, Death Prophet, and Lone Druid and Winter Wyvern were enabled in Captain's mode. So a lot of heroes that were previously out of the pool are back in.
Dire team ban.
All right, so final 2 pickups here, Templar Assassin and the Dazzle. So I think pretty good. I think the Templar Assassin is a really good answer to what TongFu has. Of course, that despite Tiny's Avalanche doing tick damage, the Templar Assassin can pretty much block most of the damage from that and get away from almost anything that IO Tiny throws at her pretty cleanly. So if IO Tiny goes mid, TA should have just a dandy old time fighting against them. And then if they go safe lane, TongFu's going to have to answer that in the mid with something else. And I think that might be the choice now, now that they've seen the TA. Probably going to put that IO Tiny in the safe lane and then come up with a new mid laner to try to deal with that. They've banned out the Ancient Apparition to prevent Band of Misfits from negating all of the heals that they've got with the Dazzle and the IO. But curious what they're going to pick up for that mid lane. They have quite a few heroes that could do fairly well. I mean, Bat Rider is a hero that's slowly coming back. He keeps getting small buffs, and that Aether Lens is a pretty big buff to him. Oh, just a second. I got to yell at my cat here. Hey! You get out of there. Alright. Sorry, I just got a new kitty, and he got his balls chopped off the other day, and he is not supposed to be playing in certain areas of the house for fear that he's going to rip his stitches out, and he is very persistent about going to those places, so Got to give him a little spritz with the water bottle every once in a while. Ember Spirit going to be the last ban out here by Band of Misfits, and I think that's a very well-deserved ban there. Ember Spirit does really well at dealing with the Templar Assassin, and is also highly mobile. You can be all over the map at all times, and that works really well with this kind of Clockwork IO Tiny combo that TongFu has built for themselves in this draft. So we'll see what their last pick is here. I think they've got a lot of choices. Like I said, I think the Batrider would fit their draft really well, but I don't know if it's something that they are comfortable playing, and they're going to go for a Lone Druid. Really interesting here. I wonder if there's going to be a safe lane Druid and they're going to stick with the IO Tiny mid anyways. I feel like there's heroes that you could pick that would shut down the TA even harder, but there is even potential for the Lone Druid to go mid. I think their lanes are flexible if they need them to be, but as it stands right now, I imagine this is probably going to be like a Dazzle, just kind of stacking, pulling, and roaming, securing runes, etc. Lone Druid in the safe lane, Clockwork in the off lane, and then IO Tiny in the mid. We'll see what they do though. They can always adjust that in different ways, however they see fit. Gyrocopter and this last pick's probably going to be a support, so we'll probably see the Gyrocopter +1 in the top lane. Undying is probably going to be playing more of a support role since the Darkseer is on the field, but that, of course, can always be tossed up. You can have Darkseer in the jungle, you can have Undying in the off lane, you can have the two of them together, whatever you want, but I think up against the safe lane Druid, both the Darkseer and the Undying are going to have a really hard time shutting that down, so they'll probably just try to optimize their lanes as much as possible by either having the Undying supporting or the Darkseer jungling, either of which I think is acceptable, but I think it'll probably be the Undying in a support role. We'll see what they go for, though. They got 25 seconds left in their reserve time, so they got a little bit of time to work this out, figure out what they want to do with their team, and then we'll be into this game. So this is, once again, the grand finals of the UGC League Western Invite Division, so this is a pretty big deal. $500 goes to the winner of this game. It is an all or nothing. Let's pop over to the in-game overlay. Now, I haven't disabled this cosmetic. I hope it doesn't bother anyone. I actually quite like the desert update, so I'm going to keep it as is for now, but if we want it changed back to the default, I can do that as well. Let's introduce the teams. We got Echo going to be playing the Darkseer down towards the off lane. Reaper, or Fear the Reaper, going to be playing the Undying. Looks like that's going to be a bit more of a support role. KKY Baby, I'm not sure if that... I don't think that's Kuroki, but KKY Baby going to be taking the Templar Assassin towards the mid. Straylock on the Yakuro. And up on the top lane, we're going to have Mai Hyuna on the Gyrocopter. Over on the side of TongFu North America, we've got KVH going to be playing on the Tiny. Over on the Clockwork, we've got YSH going to be taking the Clockwork there. What is this? Tuboshu on the Dazzle. Stan King on the Io, and on the Druid, we've got Shanks. So these are the teams, this is the matchup, and we'll see what the lanes turn out to be. Now, Band of Misfits did go for that last pick, Jakiro, so that's probably going to be the support with the Gyrocopter. They should be just fine, and like I said, I'm curious to see where this Undying goes. He's kind of got a bit of a variable role, but it looks like with all these consumables, he might be wanting to go with that Darkseer to kind of bully the opposing safe lane, but there's a bear going to be scouting them out here. He's looks like he's going to be walking away from this just fine, but the teams will trade bounty runes with the Io securing the top and Templar Assassin grabbing the bottom. So Io gets his bottle right off the bat. And actually, this is an interesting little change. With the bottle costing less, Io doesn't really need to get that bounty rune to start it out. Actually, in most scenarios, I would probably just say give the bounty rune to Tiny for the extra XP, and then the Io can just wait and regenerate. What is it? All you need is 20 gold off the start. If you sit with no items, yeah, all you need is, 25 gold and you're good. Oh, sorry, not 25, 35. So it takes a little bit longer, but honestly, I think that's just fine. But Reaper going to be kind of bullying out the mid lane as of now, just kind of getting in the Tiny's face a little bit, helping KKY just last hitting and getting those denies there. Really interesting matchup here. I imagine Reaper will roam away from this lane pretty soon here, but as it stands, KVH is just gonna have to do his own thing. But Io does a pull off to the hard camp there, and it is getting pinged out by the Undying, so they know that's happened, but they can't really do anything about it at this point. Weren't quick enough on the draw with that adjustment, so this farm is going to be going to KVH nice and safe, and he should be able to get his level 2 rather comfortably. Down in the bottom lane, we've got that Ion Shell bullying out this bear. Now, it's going to be kind of difficult for Shanks, but as long as he plays it safe, he should be fine dealing with this. I mean, He can last hit with the bear. If the bear gets low, he can last hit with the druid, and he can always resummon the bear or send it back to base, so it's never going to be too big an issue for him. Obviously, it is going to chip out his bear quite a bit, but that should be fine. This is only the third lone druid pickup of the UGC League Season 5. What? First blood on the mid lane. Undying catches himself a little bit too close to Tiny, and at level 2, they find themselves a free kill. So, very well done there by KVH and Stan King, and they are all the way up back to full HP and mana right off the bat. So, really comfortable, easy kill there, and Reaper's going to TP back in, try to bully his way back into the lane, but as of now, the first blood has gone to the Radiant, and they're happy with what they've got there. Clockwork just trying to abuse the pulls here a little bit. Actually almost pulled that creep wave back. That aggro was really weird there, but Straylock making sure to keep him locked down, making sure to throw out those flares. And are we going to see a rocket flare? They catch him in the cogs. Is he going to be able to get away with this? He should be able to walk back, but does drop very, very low. Had the Fairy Fire if he needs it, but pops off the salve, and they're going to go back to this side pull here and kind of meet the creep waves in between. Mid lane action still continuing on here. 3 stacks of decay up on the Tiny there, but Reaper's starting to run a little bit lower. Are they going to get the toss back? KVH is looking for it. Will he be able to get it? He's going to go for the Undying instead. They throw him back under the tower. He's going to take... Oh, doesn't even take a tower shot. Tower being moved back changes how that interaction works just a little bit. So 686 changes coming into a play there, but yeah, Dazzle just helping out the Druid for now. I really like this play by Echo, realizing he's not getting as much out of this lane as he would have liked to. Looks like he tried to stack that, pulling it through the trees, but wasn't able to do so. But he's going to farm this up anyways, get himself just a little bit of extra gold so that he can get that soul ring up. But whether or not he's going to be able to survive that... Whoa, engagement on the mid lane. I'm missing these kills. They're happening so fast, but Undying gets chucked back under the tower and brought down once again. So TongFu North America once again playing very, very well here and catching out that Undying in this mid lane. What I thought was actually just going to be a solo lane from the TA has turned into a little bit of a feed fest from the Undying now. Like I said, I think the TA lasts in this lane relatively fine on her own, but this Undying has been getting caught, and he doesn't have the same survivability as the Templar Assassin. When she has that refraction up, pretty impossible to kill her, but Undying just doesn't have the same luxury. But these side pulls are just... are making it super hard for Clockwork. He ends up getting brought down to next to nothing and has to go back to base. He's going to go pick up his boots, and he's actually going to walk back. Looks like he might have TP'd out. I'm not 100% sure there, but they're just keeping the XP away from him, and he's doing an alright job of harassing out with the rocket flares, and he is level 4. He's doing alright, but still having a few troubles of his own. Invis rune on the Dazzle here. He roams in towards top, sees the Undying going towards bottom, and just kind of gets some scouting information and will head back down towards the safe lane. Shank's doing an okay job farming up here on his own. He's got boots on the Druid, and he's going to go straight for the Tranquil boots instead of grabbing a pair of boots for the Spirit Berry quite yet. Gloves of Haste picked up now, so he might be going for that Midas. I think TongFu is more than happy to play for the late game here. The Tiny and the Druid make for a really, really scary late game. So if they want to start farming up and getting those levels of gold up, they're going to be more than happy to. Ice Path catches out the Clockwork, but they're not going to be able to do enough damage before he makes his way back under the tower. Boots paying for themselves right there, but Gyrocopter did have phase boots. I mean, they probably could have chased that, but going under the tower once again. Man, these kills happen in just an instant. The second I look away, shit goes down, but the TA going to be caught out on the mid lane, and once again, just that avalanche toss combo. It is a very dangerous game that you're playing as the TA, because the second your refraction goes down, you leave yourself open to something like that, and if you get caught with that stun for even a second, you're pretty much toast. So really potent mid lane here, and looks like a very well rehearsed mid lane as well. I mean, Stan King and KVH have obviously done this before, and they know what they're doing in terms of how to play this. Let's take a peek at the charts here. Over on the last hits, we've got the Lone Druid and the Gyrocopter pretty much matched 1 for 1, 33 apiece. Brawl's coming out here as Reaper's getting jumped on. He's going to... Yeah, the Bear's going to get pulled back before anything gets too out of control there. But heading right back to the last hits, and once again, like I said, Lone Druid, Gyrocopter, trading farm pretty much equally. The TA actually has more last hits than the Tiny, sitting at 21 over 20, so very slight advantage, but an advantage nonetheless. And she might actually find herself a kill here on the Dazzle. He does have a shallow grave, and that attack does miss, so... KKY not going to pursue that, but the Ancients are stacked 3 times so that TA can pop over there anytime she wants. But look at this, The refraction gets broken, they toss her back, and they're trying to work her down. She gets another refraction charge up, but the Urn of Shadows is starting to tick her down. All they need is a little bit more damage, but the Tiny gets his auto attack stop canceled a couple times. Stan King trying to chase out. The toss is going to go out, and KKY is going to get brought down, but Stan King, he is dropped very, very low, and the rotation has come in from the Undying and the Darkseer. Can they bring him down? Tether out. Will they find the IO? No, they are getting chased by everything, but nothing is actually slowing them down. They're on their way out, and KVH turns to fight it. Fairy Fire gets popped off on Reaper, but they've got an Urn of Shadows, and they bring him down. So another kill brought out by this IO Tiny. Once again, 302 on the Tiny. This is a huge and scary advantage for this early in the game. Never want a Tiny to get off to this snowbally start. Darkseer roaming over towards the jungle. Looks like he's kind of given up on harassing out that lone druid, and instead he's just going to make his way into the jungle and try to farm up a little bit for himself. But, oh man, KKY once again running into trouble, hiding underneath the tower. The Urn is taking him out, and he should be able to survive that. But, I mean, KVH just running forward with complete impunity, taking his numerous tower hits and the Jakiro Liquid Fire, but it doesn't matter to him. Runs in, does the damage he wants to, and forces the TA out. I mean, she's going to go farm up a hard camp and maybe make her way back to base, but she is just not getting what she needs out of this game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, okay. Alright. If you're wondering why my shop button says armaments, I was playing a custom game called For the King Beacon Fire. Very fun game, but yeah, it changes a lot of your asset names, so I often end up with quite a few things named the wrong thing that they're supposed to. So if there's any oddities, let me know. I'll try to reset my client in between games so that that is not an issue. There's Undying getting bullied out just a little bit here. Takes a couple auto attacks from the bear, but mainly just being zoned out. Now, Druid going for an interesting build here, going for the Max Savage Roar. Now, I'm kind of curious. I played one game of Druid myself, and I am by no means a lone Druid expert. I'm not great on this hero, but seemed to me like Savage Roar, the AoE on it is just so low that it feels really hard to execute. Top lane, relocate gank, comes in under the tower. Io's going to get brought down, which leaves KVH standing alone. He's going to try to TP out, and he will make it out, but the Clockwork, is he going to make the same? No, he gets caught by the Ice Path. They just need one more auto attack to bring him down. Another Liquid Fire, but the Shallow Grave is there, and Jakiro not going to be able to pursue it as far as he wants, so they trade the IO for the Gyrocopter. I think that is still a pretty solid trade in TongFu's favor. As long as you're getting that Tiny beefed up and he gets out safe, he's going to be a happy camper, and he's sitting on 2,000 gold, only needing 200 more to get that Blink Dagger up, so Tiny going to be a force to be reckoned with as this game progresses here. TA making her way into the jungle to start farming up again. Like I said, she's looking for farm wherever she can get it. And, I mean, she's matching the Tiny on last hits, but she is still down 2 deaths, and the Tiny has got, what, 4 kills to his name now? Yeah, 4, 0, and 2, and almost a full Blink Dagger. So, Tiny working down that mid creep wave. He's going to grab the Blink Dagger and have that delivered to him, and from there, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another IO relocate gank, because it is going to be up in another 12 seconds. They do have a ward up here at these Ancients, so they know it's stacked, and they know that there's going to be someone looking for that. But this Gyrocopter, he's in very aggressive territory, looking to farm the enemy jungle, but looks like he may have been spotted out here. The Courier runs right over him, so they know he's there. Can they catch up in time? They've got a TP coming in. Tiny's going to blink forward. Are they going to get the toss back? They just toss him straight up in this on the spot. He drops down the call down, but it's just not enough. The Ice Path catches out Yish, but is he going to be caught out by this? I don't think so. He's going to walk away, and the TA just can't pursue. They make their way back under the safety of their tower and get another kill on the Gyrocopter. So no relocate needed, but the Blink Dagger was revealed, and I think that's a very worthy kill to get with that reveal there. Lone Druid just still farming away on the bottom lane here. And yeah, I was talking about this build. I'm not sure what is more worth it now, the Rabbit or the Savage Roar. Savage Roar is a very good ability for keeping your bear safe. If it's off split pushing, if it has a radiance of any sort, you know, you can just keep it safe by roaring and running away, and then obviously using that return to pull it back to the Druid. But at the same time, Rabbit is such a huge movement speed bonus now. It's actually insane how quick Druid and the Bear run throughout the map when that is up. So Anyways, Midas is up on the bear, so looks like they're going to go pick him up a pair of booties. Oh, no booties yet. Wow, Tiny, just on a roll. I cannot keep my eyes off of this guy. I'm just going to lock the camera to Tiny and let that be the game. I'm paying attention to the guy who's farming, but KVH is the one who is killing on his way to, is this a Drums of Endurance? Yeah, so he's going to go for Drums. 503 on the Tiny right now, though this is absolutely disgusting, and Band of Misfits are just terrified. They really can't go anywhere. I'm curious what Maihyun was doing. It looked like he just wanted to farm the enemy jungle, try to, you know, just move over to the other side of the map where the pressure wasn't. But as soon as they realized that, KVH chased him down, and that was the end of him. So really nowhere safe for this gyrocopter to be farming, and the TA nonetheless as well. She's having a really hard time. Despite having her ancient stack, she hasn't found an opportunity to run over there and do it safely. Now Dazzle running into a little bit of an engagement here, but has that haste rune, so he will scurry away just fine. And Tiny manning up on the mid lane. I mean, there's 4 heroes here, and they're still scared to get anywhere near him, because obviously he can blow them up in a mere second if he needed to. Io hiding off in the trees, but the Drums of Endurance are going to be delivered here, so Tiny got some nice kill potential as well as some bonus stats. Or are they going to go? There's Fear the Reaper. He's going to get jumped on, tossed up, brought down, and that is going to be it. Ice Path catches KVH, but it doesn't matter. They walk out through the high ground. Darkseer's going to try to intercept, but he can't really do anything without fear of being brought down himself. Over in the jungle here, Dazzle's going to get caught out, but he's going to try to TP out, and with the very, very last second of his shallow grave, will make the TP out back to base successfully. Yish was there to help out, but realizes he is not needed and will be backing away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Up on top, Shanks is rotated up here to start working on this safe lane tower. The tier 1 down here went down a couple moments ago. I'm not exactly sure when that fell, but yeah, KVH and Stan King are going to start working on the tier 2, and it's now a very uncomfortable choice for Band of Misfits where they want to go. No one can, even as 5, it's going to be very, very hard to bring down this combo, and so they're just not even bothering, and this tier 2 tower is going to drop pretty quickly. Dazzle and Clockwork are up on top, and looks like Druid has rotated away, so he's not going to bother fighting up on that tier 1, but as far as TongFu is concerned, they can just move in and start working on this tier 2 once again. There is a rotation in to try to defend it, but the most they're going to do is just throw down a few spells and clear the creep wave. Tiny going to back away from there. Not wanting to get into a big engagement, but to be honest, I wouldn't have even worried about it if I was them. If anybody gets a little bit too close, for example, this gyrocopter walking a little too far forward, if he gets blinked on here, this could be trouble, but no. KVH not going to go for it. Top lane, they went for, looks like they went for something up on top. They had the battery assault active, but looks like Darkseer is in no trouble, full health, and just kind of laughing it off. Arcane Rune sitting in the top river here. Dangerous rune for Tiny to have for sure. Can't think of too many other heroes in this game that would be insane to have, but 686 pro play. Tiny without Io, 44%. Io without Tiny, 61%, and Io Tiny together, 80% over 5 games. All right. Yeah, the combo's been very potent. I think it was 2 games last night in WCA that got played. Wait, what is this set? He looks like Golem from Pokemon. Got a big rounded back. That's a scary Tiny. Making his way in towards the tier 3 now. Just gonna toss up and avalanche, clear out that creep wave, and back himself away. But he's got a huge amount of gold sitting in his inventory right now. He's going to pass that off for a point booster, and will be making his way towards that Aghanim Scepter. I would not doubt if he had it before 20 minutes. Yeah, it feels like Band of Misfits really wanted to be aggressive with this lineup. I mean, the Undying and the Jakiro, 2 very hard-hitting early game supports, and of course that TA. If she can get a good early start, if she can start bringing down heroes, getting a pick here and there, she can get really aggressive really quickly, especially if she gets the flash farm from those ancients and whatnot. But Band of Misfits have just had their lanes bullied so hard that they're just in catch-up mode, and these heroes that were supposed to be aggressive, like the Gyrocopter and the TA, are just you know, they're in recovery mode. They're trying to farm. They're trying to find their way through the jungle, and right now they're going to group up and go for a tier 1 tower, and it's going to get fortified at the last second, maybe denied if someone's brave, but no, TongFu's going to back away, let that tower drop, and Jakiro gets the last hit, but meanwhile, it's going to be traded in mid with the Io, Tiny, and the Lone Druid bringing down that tower. Now, the Sacred Relic has been bought up by Shanks here, so he's going to be going for that Radiance on the bear. I'm actually really curious about the fact that he has not put boots on this bear yet. It's still pretty slow. I mean, it's not really necessary once you get high levels in Rabid, but still has no problem just letting that bear go without the phased movement of the phase boots or anything of the sort. Yeah, KVH sitting close to 500 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter, and this Ancient Stag is still sitting there, so if that... oh, man. Blink in, they're going for Echo, but not able to bring him down, and actually, they catch him out. Can they... oh, man, the relocate is so good. They bring him back to base, and KVH is going to survive for sure. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to TP to Tier 1, and the Io is going to be left on his own there. They're trying to clear out the creep wave so that Io can't tether out. He's going to go for it anyways, and the TA is waiting there, but the Ice Path doesn't hit. He's just going to TP out, and it looks like Stan King is going to make it. Oh my god, what a play. That Ice Path just barely missing. And Stan King going to survive. 1-1 and 7 on him and almost a fully completed mech. This is one rich Io just rolling in the gold at the moment and riding the coattails of his good buddy Tiny, who is bringing part of his Aghanim Scepter, but not the whole thing out to himself. Looks like he missed... oh. What's he doing with the courier? Where is this courier going? He's turning around. Alright, I guess he just microed it off to some nowhere land place that he didn't realize. Anyways, TA gonna make her way over to the Ancients, try to farm these up, and looks like she will do it successfully, but I mean, taking a lot of damage to her health, and actually being a little bit frightened here as I think they spotted out the Io Tiny with a ward somewhere. They knew they were in danger somehow. I'm not 100% sure how, though. But yeah, they're going to back off of the Ancients, not wanting to drop too low from that. And Desolator now picked up by the TA, so maybe she has some kill potential if she can get on top of that Io or the Dazzle or something like that. But it's going to be really hard for her. Has the Clockwork gone for a Blade Mail? Yeah, he's got it sitting in his inventory, so if the Clockwork gets that Blade Mail off, TA is not going to be able to kill him. And the Io and the Dazzle both have relatively decent escape mechanisms if they manage to get them off, so... Alright, they're looking for action on the bottom lane. They've got that tree ready to go, and as soon as their creep wave comes in, they can start working away on this tier 3 tower. But just going to clear out the creep wave for now, tossing up a couple more auto attacks, and the creep wave is gone. But yeah, Band of Misfits just kind of scattered throughout their own jungle, looking for an opportunity to defend, maybe gain themselves a little bit of ground, even get a pick off if they can, but it's just so hard for them right now as there's always this looming threat of a Clockwork Hook and a relocate from the Io Tiny. I mean, you've got 3 relatively weak heroes just pushing up here, and you can't go on them because that relocate is always very scary. And of course, Druid's just having a farm fest on his own. He's got himself a Radiance, finally put some boots on that bear, and moving around as efficiently as he can. Just the Druid is just completely uncontested. If you know, the Tiny's made so much space for him that it just doesn't even matter at this point. Action on the mid lane here. The Ice Path is going to catch them both out. They go for a vacuum back. There's the wall, but can they catch anyone out? Stan King going to try to TP, but that is not going to happen. Haste Rune on the TA, but she gets rooted up as she attempts to go for the Tiny. Gets brought down. Now the cogs are out, and the Darkseer is going to be the next to fall. Macropyre is down, but it's not really hitting anyone. The Bear is the only one in the middle of this fight. He's trying to fight, and the Radiance will bring down the Jakiro. Gets the root onto the Gyrocopter, but the Bear dies and will be resummoned by Shanks. So exchanging the Io for 3, potentially 4. There's the 4th as KVH comes in from the backline, gets a blink off, and brings down the Undying. So pinging out the Roshan right now. They want to go for Rosh instead of pushing. I think it's probably a good call. You only got 10 seconds until most people on Band of Misfits are up. It's still early in this game, and most people are relatively low level. But Roshan, not going to be a problem at all. Band of Misfits could come fight if they wanted to, but no point. Jakiro kind of trying to see what he can do here, but the Clockwork blocks him out, makes sure that he can't get anywhere near that cliff, and Tiny is going to be the one to grab that Aegis. So as if he wasn't invincible enough already, he's now got a second life that he can throw away, whacking away at towers if they do decide to go high ground anytime soon. They've kind of just got room to do whatever they want now. If they want to just farm, they can farm. They can choke out the map, get as much gold as they want, and then show up when Lone Druid is 12 slotted and laugh at Band of Misfits, or they could just go now. I mean, they're strong enough, they can breach that high ground, they can make their way up, and abuse that Aegis. I mean, all they have to do is throw Tiny on the high ground, have him start whacking away at a tower, and no matter what Band of Misfits do, even if that Tiny goes down, the tower still goes down, and the engagement is always there to... they've always got the re-engagement if that Aegis pops, so... Tiny now has a bottle double damage. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't start going for high ground now. So we'll see what they choose to do. There is a line being drawn by the Tiny up towards the top lane. So it looks like they want to get that final tier 2 before they threaten the high ground. But either way, they've got a lot of room to do as they please. Moonshard now picked up by the Tiny. So he's going to start hitting like an absolute monster. And not much that the enemy can do to stop him. Like I said, with this tree up and the double damage, towers are just going to melt. And... so yeah, we see this now as Shanks and Tuboshu and Yish are all pushing up on the top lane, and of course the relocate will be there if a fight breaks out. But as it stands, Sand King and KBH are just going to push out this bottom lane and do as they please until the split push becomes a thing. This little Panda Bear going for a Yogg off towards the mid lane. He's going to try to just push this back a little bit, make sure that creep wave isn't bringing that tower anywhere close to low. Probably going to clear out one more wave, and then he'll recall the bear up towards top. They're pushing just fine without it at the moment, so yeah, just waiting for the split push to begin. TP back from the Templar Assassin. Looks like they want to fight here. This is, of course, probably the best way to do things if you have this sort of splitting scenario happening. You want to catch the IO Tiny, the mobile hero first, and then deal with the rest of their team when they can't show up to help out. But the smoke gank is coming in, they're looking for it, and blink away from the Tiny. IO trying to get the relocate out, but does die almost immediately, and Tiny will escape, and that's the big deal there, because IO can always teleport in later on. He can always relocate to the Tiny, but the Tiny goes down. That's trouble. But meanwhile, the push comes out on top lane, and they're going to move in to defend this. They've got TP scrolls and not going to be able to bring anybody down. They don't have anything to catch that bear. So they just deflect the creep wave for now, keep their tower relatively healthy, but they're maintaining pretty good composure despite how insane this Tiny has been throughout the game. But double damage is popped, and they don't have TPs to come back. They just TP'd, I think, 3 heroes towards top, so they're going to have to run back, and this tower is going to drop so quickly. Look at this, 6 hits or so to bring down that tower, and she's going to Tiny's going to immediately start working on the tower, but KKY baby not going to be able to do anything there. KVH just makes a joke out of him. With a GPM of 644, KVH has surpassed the previous UGC GPM record for Tiny. Very nice. And yeah, good game, well played is called, as they're busy brawling away at top, and the Tiny is just busy taking their base. 2 lanes of racks go down almost in an instant, and KVH just controlling this game. 15-3 is going to be the score in the first game of these UGC Grand Finals. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It has been a blast bringing you this game. We've got a potential 4 more games coming up in just a moment, so stay tuned. We're going to throw up the lobby, get back in, and it'll only be a couple minutes before we're back in game. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.